Hey, Mortgage Coach community, Dave Savage here, and today I'm interviewing Robb Crocker. What's up, Robb?
Hey, how's it going, Dave?
It's going good. So I've been excited for this interview. Started talking to you, many weeks ago, but because of your busy schedule, flying back east, was it to meet with Samsung?
Samsung,
Um,
yeah.
yeah, yeah. So for those of you who don't know Robb, I'll tell who he is to me, and then I'll let him tell a little bit more about what he does, and we'll get into some big ideas. So the way I see Robb is he is the CEO of a Facebook video agency. I know they do all kinds of videos. Typically, like if you go to their website, you'll see that they help Nike, they help Adidas. He just went and helped Samsung, and it looks like most of them are consumer direct. Some are B2B, but if you want to create videos as a business that achieve business goals, which could be referrals, could be retention, could be leads, could be branding, but videos that create goals, Robb is an expert. Is that fair to say?
Yes, as much as I can humbly say I'm an expert, yes, that would be fair to say, Dave.
Well, by the way, you and your team are
Exactly.
together as an organization.
Exactly.
You bring expertise to the market.
Yeah, so
So
the way I describe Funnelbox is that we're a video marketing agency that helps people, individuals, and organizations leverage the power of YouTube and social video to drive real business goals.
that is the way it's said. I love
Yeah.
that. So I think anybody that's watching this, you can see why I asked Robb to come here. Because one, we've got this referral magnet video contest going. I'm going to put a link below to the playlist so you can see examples of mortgage coach loan officers that are creating videos to generate referrals. But I want to bring Robb in here so that he can coach us up. What are some of the wrong things he sees doing? What are some of the best things? So why don't we start, Robb, with why create videos on YouTube that we promote on social? Why should a loan officer or a realtor even think about doing that?
Yeah. So specifically in regards to YouTube, many people already know this, but if you don't, YouTube is the world's second largest search engine, only behind Google. So basically, YouTube is a place where people, just like you and I, go to learn stuff. We seek out information and we go to learn. That's the primary driver of YouTube, how people use it. So if you're thinking about YouTube as a marketing vehicle, what you really want to think about is how can I leverage YouTube to share my skills, share my experience, share my knowledge, and be of use and help to folks who are out there looking for the information that you might have that you can share with them. So the power of YouTube and video versus the written word is it has to do with really being able to show your authenticity. So there was a Dr. Albert Moravian from UCLA, and he did a study on authenticity and communicating intent and purpose when it comes to interaction, one-on-one communication. What he found was that 55% of the communication, 8% of the communication were the words that somebody used. 37% of the communication were the inflection and intonation of how you said the words, and a full 55% of what was being communicated to somebody was the body language. So that's the key with video, and especially with YouTube, and especially with a one-on-one transaction or one-on-one interaction. The best way to really connect with somebody and help them show you that you do have the knowledge, experience, and the intent, the sincere intent to help somebody, is to do that through video and through YouTube. If you can't do it in person, the next best way to do it is through YouTube, and you can do it on YouTube 24 hours a day, 7 days a week. So that makes it a lot easier on your sleep schedule too.
Yeah, no doubt. Well, I am advocating that mortgage professionals, for years we've been saying, hey, you need to have a LinkedIn presence. How nerdy and proactive and aggressive do you need to be with that? It depends on who you are. If that's something that you naturally love and you love using tech and social, then I say go for it. But let's just say you're non-tech, have a presence. And I think the same thing goes with Facebook. I mean, have a presence. How active, I think, is up to you and who you are. And I really think we're at a point now in the mortgage industry, whether you're a real estate or you're a mortgage professional, have a presence. Have a bare minimum YouTube channel that is educational, that helps, especially with the millennial coming into the market. I mean, they have learned how to do a lot of things on YouTube. They go to YouTube to learn how to do everything. Change car battery, YouTube it.
Yep.
Learn to speak Spanish, YouTube it. Learn to edit videos, YouTube it. Learn to get a mortgage, they're YouTubing it. So having a presence, having some educational videos, to me is just common sense. Before we get into some details and nerdiness around how to make a great video, talk about Facebook, because I'm seeing Facebook videos really trend, and why should we, like sometimes I put my video and I just put the link to YouTube on Facebook, and sometimes I actually put the video in Facebook to promote it. I really haven't figured out why to do one or the other, but as an expert, could you give us a little bit of thoughts on Facebook videos and whether we should share a YouTube video or whether we should put it native in Facebook?
Yeah. So there are some differences. We just talked about YouTube is a place where people go to learn. Facebook is a place where people just generally go to browse, and it's kind of like the town square. So people go there to kind of see what's going on with different people, with friends or family or acquaintances. So if you think about that and you think about how people are viewing content on Facebook, it's different than YouTube. So if you're going to post videos on Facebook, you still want them to be educational, but it's more so you want them to be maybe a little bit more engaging and entertaining, something that somebody would want to share with somebody else. So that's what you want to keep in mind. And when it comes to uploading video content anywhere, it's always best practice to upload it natively to whatever platform you're going to. So if you think about it, Facebook doesn't want a viewer clicking on a link to leave Facebook to go to YouTube, because Facebook makes money by selling ads. So they want people to stay on Facebook. So when it comes to video content on Facebook, they're getting in the game pretty hardcore. They just announced a couple months ago something called Facebook Watch, which is their own kind of future competitor to YouTube. Facebook wants to keep viewers on Facebook. So if you're going to do video content on Facebook, I would highly recommend that you actually upload it to Facebook. The other thing you're going to want to think about with Facebook is, we all, when you go on Facebook and you see the streams of content and pictures and whatnot going through your feed, those Facebook videos don't natively play with sound. So that's something you're going to need to be aware of as well. With Facebook, it's best practice if you can make a video that actually has text on it. So even if you're talking, having some text there that gets people to want to click on the video so they actually hear what you're talking about is going to be important. Otherwise, they're just going to see your face as it scrolls by, and you might as well just be a picture. So that's definitely something you want to think about. Best practice is to create video content for YouTube and video content for Facebook. Now, you can shoot the same video, it's just how you process it needs to be different. So YouTube, again, is educational. They need to see you. They need to see that you're sincere, you know what you're talking about. Facebook, some of that too, but you're going to want it to be shorter, and you're going to want it to have some kind of text on screen so people can get an idea of what you're talking about so they can decide whether or not they want to actually hear what you're talking about.
Good. So that's great. So by the way, if you have questions for Robb, because he's part of our community now, feel free to post those in questions below or in comments. You're watching this in YouTube, and now that you said this, we're going to have to put a version in Facebook. We'll have a version in YouTube, and please like it, show us that you watched it, and share it with your friends. And please comment any questions that you have for Robb. So Robb, let's get into the execution of videos. You were one of the judges. You are one of the judges in this referral magnet contest that we've had. So you've seen the best ones. And then you've seen some that, they're not bad, but they're not the best.
Right.
If you could, within the context of a mortgage professional, a mortgage coach, and the referral magnet videos, comment on what are some of the good things that you've seen, like do more of this, and what are some of the corrective actions, like do less of this, or stop doing this and do this. If you could kind of break that down tactically for our community.
Right. Okay, so there's a few things you want to think about when you're actually producing a Facebook video. It needs to be high quality, but I'm sorry, YouTube video.
Yeah, there you go. Got it.
There's things you want to talk about. There's things you want to think about when you're producing a YouTube video. A number of different things. Basically, you want it to be high quality, but it doesn't need to be Hollywood produced. You don't need to have super fancy lighting. You don't need to have super fancy set design, but it does need to be intentional to your viewer. So you need to think about what is the mindset of your viewer watching this video. If you think about, as a lender, you're used to helping folks buy homes all the time. I mean, that's what you do day in and day out. You help people buy homes. But a lot of people, they only do this maybe once or twice in their entire lives, maybe 2 or 3 times in their entire lives. So for you, it might be old hat, But for somebody who's doing this for the first time, it's almost like jumping out of an airplane. You as a lender, you may have never skydived. So if you were the first one to go up and if you were to go up and skydive for the first time, your instructor's been doing this a million times, so it's not a big deal to him. But to you, it's going to be a big deal. And I think that's something that is very, very important for you to realize, that you need to understand what is the mindset of your viewer. So that's important. In regards to technical stuff, the lighting needs to be good enough. It doesn't have to be perfect. It needs to be good enough. It needs to be well lit that you can see people's eyes. Eyes are very, very important. Also, something that a lot of people don't think about much is audio. Audio is very, very important. It doesn't have to be perfect, but it has to not be terrible. So what I mean by that is, if your audio is really, really bad and it's echoey and it's hard to understand, people aren't going to watch your video. So you need to really think about how does your audio sound when you're actually shooting your videos. The other thing that you need to keep in mind is, what does your background look like? So is it so distracting that people can't stay focused on you, or is it kind of benign enough that they actually can focus on you as a speaker and not get distracted by people moving back and forth, or your cat jumping on the countertop behind you, or anything like that. So it needs to be, the quality needs to be there. The lighting needs to be good. It doesn't have to be perfect. The sound needs to be good, or actually the sound just can't be terrible. It needs to be good. It just can't be terrible. And your background needs to be something that isn't distracting. So the main thing to keep in mind is what I'm saying of use to the viewer, and am I doing it and shooting the video in such a way that it's not a distraction to my message to the viewer? That's what you need to keep in mind.
Okay. So the term, because I've interviewed all the judges, I've been studying this myself. Everybody on this call, just write this down. Authenticity beats professionalism. And then, the other thing is, you have to do it. So if you let the technical get in the way and just not doing the video, that's not good. I mean, there's been videos that I've shot where I wasn't happy about everything. I was in a hotel room the other day interviewing someone amazing, and there was a conversation going on around the corner, and it wasn't perfect. But you know what? I got the video. It was incredible. By the way, it was a interview I did with Garth Graham with Stratmore, and it's a great piece of leadership. It's a great piece of content. It's not perfect, but it's great. Then, by the way, it's funny that you mentioned animals. I've done some interviews because I work out of WeWork, and one time, or maybe even a couple times, the dogs come by or even barked. My partner actually is giving me a hard time, like, that's bad. We can't have that happen. And I'm like, you know what? I don't want dogs running around. I prefer to keep it limited. But you know what? If it enables me to interview someone amazing that's valued to our community, just do it. And so I want to make sure everybody on this call pulls away. These are some guidelines, but there's nothing more important than just doing it. And the more you do it, the better you'll get. Robb and I talked before we did this call. We talked about his audio. I mean, his audio is not a 10, it's not a 9, but we agreed that it was good enough. He's recording this out of his office. It's good enough. And so just get out there and do it. So let's talk real quick about how long should they be, speak to both mediums. And by the way, in the context of the referral magnet, contest, because there are videos for different purposes that would have different time constraints. But if you could just speak to that for the community from your perspective.
Yeah. So best practice is it's always better to have a video that's a little too short than a little too long. Because a little too short will want them wanting more. They'll either want to call you or email you or contact you, or they're going to want to watch another video. So as far as view duration, YouTube will tell you it doesn't matter. They'll tell you it doesn't matter as long as the content is engaging and people stick with it and actually want to watch it. Now, that's great, but what we found, honestly, is that if you can keep your videos, under 2 minutes, you're going to have much better view duration. You're going to have much better viewership if you can do that. You can't always do that, but that's something to shoot for. Just remember, it's better to keep it too short than too long. Another thing, I really wanted to touch on, Dave, is for a lot of folks, getting in front of a camera like this or doing a video is, it's kind of scary. It's like public speaking. One way to think about how to do it is tell a story. Tell a genuine story. Then you don't have to worry about scripting anything or that you didn't hit all the key points. If you can just tell an authentic story, it not only helps to get your nerves out, because you're just literally telling a story about what you did or how a product or solution helped your clients, but it also makes it so that people can see your authenticity. And today's point, authenticity beats professionalism, every day of the week. No doubt about it. So if you can think about starting with your videos and think about what's a 90-second story I can tell somebody about a specific product or process that can help them understand what I do and see my expertise. That's definitely something you want to think about.
All right. So for everybody watching this, one, I'm putting a couple links below because I've interviewed Roberto Monaco, my speaker coach. He provides what could be better about the 3 top referral magnet videos, so that will be below. I also had Robert Stover, marketing consultant, provide his feedback, so I'm going to put those links below. And if you are serious about using video to generate leads, using video to improve the experience of your clients, your educational experience for your clients, then listen to those below. Rob, let's transition in this last 5 minutes on a YouTube channel. And I want you to speak to a loan officer. Think of a top loan officer that's got a budget, is willing to really have a good YouTube channel. And then I think, my clients, I've got clients that are big lenders. I've seen their YouTube channels, and they're not, none of them are like awesome. I look at them and like, that's pretty good, but they're not as good as they could be. So if you could speak to both the C-suite on, what are some of the best practices for a YouTube channel, and then also kind of speak to that for a top producing loan officer that wants to have a channel, YouTube channel. What should they be thinking about?
Yeah, so I think the most important thing about is to remember that YouTube is a search engine. And while YouTube does a pretty good job of kind of figuring out what is in the video content just from its automatic YouTube bots that translate my words into text that people can actually see, it doesn't do it perfectly. So when you generate a piece of content, you need to prepare that content for the search engine. So that means you need to think about the titles. What are you going to title your video, and how does that play into the algorithm when somebody searches for how to buy a house, that you can show up in the search results? You need to think about the tags. So when you upload a piece of video content, you can tag that content with different keywords. You probably want to put your name. You probably want to put mortgage. You probably want to put any of the products or services you're talking about, and think about what it is that's applicable to somebody searching for this content. You want to be able to show up. Another thing that's a really easy thing to think about is YouTube gives preference to content that people watch and are engaged with. So it's always good to encourage people in your videos to comment, like, ask questions, engage with you. Because when YouTube sees that somebody's engaging with content, what that says to them is this is good content. And when somebody searches for content that's relevant to this, we want to show them that because people are engaging with it. So keep in mind, anytime you can end your video with, hey, got any questions? Leave a comment, like the video, share it with your friends. I would encourage you to try and get people to actually engage with your video content. And then one other little quick thing is to think about the visuals. So while the words and the meta tags that you put on the video definitely improve the search results, you can also work on the human side of it. So when you upload thumbnails for your video, if you can put a little watermark on your video, so when it shows up in the suggested views on the side, people actually see, oh, that's the same watermark as the one I just watched. I want to watch the next one in that series. Because YouTube looks at what they think you're going to want to watch over there, which may not be some of your stuff because it might be a different subject matter. But if you put the little thumbnails in there with your watermark, people will know that's more content, good content that I'm going to want to watch.
Wow, first of all, I got some ideas. I have to rewatch this. Again, I want to see the mortgage coach community of loan officers crush it in the market. I want to see you get referrals where families and realtors and partners are saying, I want a total cost analysis. I want you to be a better teacher and educator. So I hope you've got some takeaways. I would say, like, when I first started doing this, I didn't tell people to like it and comment. And I still don't get the amount, like our community is 50 plus and we don't get as much engagement as we'd like. But from when I didn't actually say it in the video to when I do, it's like, it's up like 10 times over last year.
Yep.
So by the way, if you watch this, like it, share it, comment. And Rob, if folks want to get in touch with you, I've got, VPs of marketing that I'm sure would want to talk to you and your firm to optimize their YouTube page, to get advice on how to create better videos. And then I have teams, some of the best loan officers in America that probably want to hire you and do stuff. How can they get a hold of you?
Yeah, probably the easiest way is Dave and I actually set up a special email just for the viewers, just for the Mortgage Coach folks. If you just email mortgagecoach@funnelbox.com, that's the easiest way to get in touch with us. You can go to our website, funnelbox.com, and you can also email me directly. It's Robb, R-O-B-B, @funnelbox.com, and I'm sure Dave will put all that in the show notes.
Yeah, we'll put that in comments. And again, I have no financial interest in you doing business with Robb or his company. He is a fellow Portlandier, so we both live in Portland, so he has that going for him. But I've done my research. This is a great leader. They're a great company. I don't think there's any lenders, loan officers that are creating the kind of videos that would be even comparable to what Robb's team could help you with. So they know our mission. They know our market. And I think you'll be surprised at how much they could help you close more loans if you upgraded your YouTube channel, you made more compelling videos, and you promoted them in all the most intelligent ways. So I hope you reach out to Robb, whether you use the Mortgage Coach email or contact him directly. Robb, thank you for this conversation. Thank you for the wisdom. And I really appreciate it on behalf of the Mortgage Coach community.
My pleasure, everybody. Good luck, and make some video.
Right on. Take care, everybody.